Director at Springport Schools, Tyler Hughes.
Hey.
Morning, Tyler.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you just completed your first year as athletic director. How'd it go?
Yeah, first year it was great. Really, I think when you get in that profession, right? Obviously, you love sports, but as a teacher too, you love the interaction you get with kids.
Yeah.
And I think kids being so passionate about sports, and then I think that's really cool because you can kind of meet them there.
Yeah.
And yeah, the interactions, the relationships. I think Springport is awesome. It's a great place to work. I think the kids are great. And yeah, so it was a really great first year.
Yeah, we had a lot of success, from a lot of the teams. Have you enjoyed kind of watching and following some of the sports that you didn't participate in growing up?
I think that's probably one of the most humbling, but also interesting experiences. Is, as a former basketball player, right? You know that's what you obsess over, right?
Yeah.
But seeing and kind of appreciating some of these other sports, it's been really fun. I think working these track events,
Yeah.
I'm working behind the camera and I'm with the FAT program and doing all that and appreciating the track and that competitiveness and
sure.
that level too. Cheer, yeah. There's a lot of sports that you just really gain an appreciation for.
Yeah.
Big 8 champs there,
Oh, yeah.
wrestlers, district champs. Got some runners and athletes on track that did really well, qualified for the state. And the basketball program, a lot of youth in the basketball program.
You guys are, as you know, there's coach right there. We were talking. I mean, you have a stable of sophomores coming in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you have young talent.
Yeah.
And they're very, very good. Of course, a lot of people are going to be excited about the boys basketball program the next few years.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the really cool things is, as an AD is, right? I mean, those coaches and those kids take all this credit for the wins, but it's like really when you get that level of talent, because it's ebbs and flows
For
of
sure.
things, right? You get, your classes that are going to be really good and some classes that are going to struggle. But as an AD, it's like, how do you retain your really good employees, but also two, how do you build upon that
Right.
culture? And it's building a legacy, right? So it's those kids investing into their youth programs and building those youth summer camps and having them come there so they can see, those younger kids can see those
Yeah.
guys. Because it's kind of like a big brother, little brother, right? The big brother puts in all this work, and the little brother goes to all the games, and somehow the little brother seems to be a little bit more talented.
Yeah.
Right. It's just somehow how it works
Yeah.
out. So, I think that's our mission, right? Is
Yeah.
to really invest in back into our youth to create that legacy, so the ups and downs aren't as severe.
Yeah, for sure.
Tyler, tell us about your background and your path to Springport AD.
Yeah. So I was a long-time educator. I shouldn't say long time, but 7-8 years in education. And I, was at Jackson Prep and Early College over there for the last 4 years before I took the Springport AD job. I got my master's in, business management with a sports management focus. Did my internship at Spring Arbor, and I think that was, really wanting to get in this field where, how can I best impact kids and serve kids, and with the sports background, I felt like the athletic director role was really calling me. And so when, Springport had that job opening last summer, I was really interested in it, really excited about it, very excited that they offered me the job, and I think that's been a really good relationship.
Springport's in the Big 8, which has 8 schools again, of course, with Stockbridge joining the Big 8. It's a really competitive league.
Oh my gosh, I think sometimes people they think about Cascades all the time too, because that's Jackson, because we pull out some of these other schools
Sure.
to the west, but I mean, every program has a really solid program. Maple Valley's baseball just went to the states Final Four. Gene LeClaire's volleyball program is really, really good. Obviously we have a lot of good successes that we've had this year in our program, and Concord's girls basketball team is going to be really good for the upcoming ages. I could speak on a lot of the different sports programs, but Big A is super competitive, and Stockbridge now in the mix. I mean, their boys basketball program is really good too.
Yeah.
And, it'll be really interesting. It should be really fun to watch a lot of the Big 8 sports this upcoming year.
Have you had a raised burger in reading?
Huh?
Have you had a raised burger in reading?
Oh, You've never been to Ray's Tavern?
I've heard, Mitch Hubbard always says that I need to go there. I haven't been there yet. I'm hoping at the next, meeting that we have, maybe he can bring some in.
It's one of those places where we always just talk about, but we never really go. It's one of those places.
Mitch Hubbard's gonna, he's gonna be disappointed in me after he's seen this. He's like, what?
There's opportunity for your young athletes to get physicals, and I know you guys push that as early as possible. Get physicals ready for next school year.
Yeah, so the RAS program of U of M is partnered with us, and we have like a 2-year commitment right now. And they're kind of building their own facility within our school, and so they've been doing on-site physicals for free to all our athletes. And I think that's really important too, because our social economically speaking, we're trying to make sports as easy as possible to join.
Yeah.
We don't want any restrictions for kids to having an excuse of not being able to join the sport, because I think sports are so important, right? I mean, they teach you life lessons, the relationships. There's so many good things. So if we can prevent those barriers, it's only going to help us and help the kids and help our community.
Do you coach yourself?
I used to, yeah. So I coach a lot of basketball. I've coached from basically middle school girls. When I first started at Western, I did my student teaching. I did 7th grade girls basketball, and I've taught and coached, at Spring Arbor, and I was interim head coach there for the girls program for a hot minute before John Williams. And I think, I love coaching, and I think that's a really different, avenue. And when I supervise in these games, I'm like, oh my God, man, I want to say my thing and step back and I analyze more, but it's a different lens. But coaching is awesome and this AD job is awesome, but finding, I would never mix the two. It's just impossible. But
did you play sports in college?
Yep. So I played at Spring Arbor from like 2012, 2015. Ryan Cottingham, obviously, great mentor. That Spring Arbor community is just special. I mean, you probably have a lot of Spring Arbor people that come on set and probably say the same thing, but it just really is. I mean, the relationships, the community, the people there, they just pour. And now I feel like, as I get older, I'm looking at ways how can I do that same impact, because my mentors in my life are huge. They're valuable to me.
Yeah. I have a 13-year-old daughter, so I'm always picking up new sayings at home, and I'm
Oh,
wondering
no.
how you relate to some of the kids.
I think that's a funny thing too. I could say
Do they
a
call
lot
you
of different
bro?
things. Yeah, right, bro. They tried to call me by my first name,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. I think one of the funny things is, trying to be oblivious. I'm like chat snap. Is that what you guys talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like chat snap, But you just you gotta humor it a little bit, and it's fun. And those kids are fun to interact with.
Yeah.
Their sayings are, you kind of scratching your head sometimes, but who knows what it's going to look like 10 years from now.
Absolutely.
It's hard to keep up. What's that new thing they're yelling at golf tournaments?
No, we're not doing that. No, stop, Bart. We did this yesterday, and we had a big problem. We're not doing it. They say Baba Booey, and that's it. That's all they say.
I think that's going to go away really fast.
Well, we're just not talking about it on the morning show anymore today. So.
All right. So we've seen, like you mentioned, the youth of the basketball, boys basketball. Same with girls softball. The attitude, and I was at a few of the games this past year. The attitude is very forward-thinking, very positive.
Oh, yeah.
They may lose, but they're looking at the next game. They're looking at next year. That's one of the messages and part of your goal as AD.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you always have to have a forward thinking in mind, right? It's always important to keep that in perspective, right? We always want to win games. Like, that's always our goal. I think Ryan Cottingham says it the best. Winning is our goal, but it's never our purpose, right? So obviously we want to win state championships. We want to be, going to Breslin for boys or girls and all these different things. But I think one of the important things is how do we give back and how do we look forward to really build upon the culture, right? And how do we get these old alumni that graduate high school? How do we get them back? Because they're just a valuable asset to us.
Awesome. Well, we're hearing great things already, and congratulations on the first year under your belt.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Tyler Hughes, the athletic director at Springport. More of the show right after this quick break. Stay with us.